So before I even start this video, I just want to put out a trigger warning because this could be distressing to some people, and I just want everyone to be aware. We're going to talk about a tweet that, well, I guess an X post, I don't know what they're called, but a tweet that Elon reposted that I find very problematic and potentially very, very dangerous. So last Thursday, Elon reposted this post on X, and you can read it for yourself. I will try to paraphrase in a way that will not get my video taken down. So Stalin, Mao, and Schmittler didn't. Millions of people, their public sector workers did. So here's another little article that I found about it. It's pretty much stating that all of these dictators, authoritarian, whatever you want to call them, they were not personally responsible for the unalivings of millions of people under their regime. So we all know Schmittler's association with the millions of people who were unalived in Germany and surrounding areas, and then Stalin also unalived people, and Mao Zedong, the founder, you can see it right here, the founder of People's Republic of China, who was responsible for deaths of tens of millions through starvation and disease. Elon later deleted this repost, but it was documented that it was on his X account. Now, there are several reasons why this post is extremely problematic and should be making everyone feel extremely uncomfortable, but let's chat about it. So, technically, yes, Schmittler was not the person who was single-handedly committing all of these murders. And why that's so important to point out is because what Elon is saying is, without saying it, is the blood's not going to be on his hands. And personally, I think this is, I don't think he even really realized what he said when he reposted this, but I don't think this is a warning to Democrats. I think this is a warning to MAGA. He's pretty much letting you guys know that when all this shit hits the fan and when they're held responsible for what they're doing, it's not going to be him to blame. It's going to be you guys. Like those states that are putting out bounties on undocumented migrants. It's not going to be them facing the repercussions of that. It's going to be you guys. And I think it's just so important to pay attention to the contents of this statement. So there were German soldiers who were responsible for the unaliving of the millions of Jews. But what happened to German soldiers if they refused to follow along with Hitler's orders? So this is what I found. So German soldiers who refused Hitler's orders faced severe consequences, including imprisonment, degradation, being sent to the front lines, and even execution. So it wasn't like they really had a choice when it came to following orders or not following orders. If they did not follow orders, they were most likely unalived, either from being sent on the front lines, which was a unaliving sentence at the time, or they were, which you can see right here, 23,000 German soldiers executed for refusing orders. And I want to be very clear, I do think the German soldiers that were responsible in unaliving of millions of people should be held responsible for their actions, but we also have to acknowledge that there is a non-power dynamic to where they were really not allowed to say no. And I do think the ones that faced consequences and faced punishment, I do think it was deserved. So I just want to be very clear with that. But honestly, as a free voter in the United States of America, I don't see how these tweets are put out and it's not problematic, it's not concerning. I don't see how you guys are following this man. I keep hitting my coffee cup. Following this man and not being worried about the things that he's saying, the things that he's tweeting. This man is very, very public with his support of Schmittler and his support of what Schmittler did. And I don't understand how that's not concerning. And it also leads me back to when he gave the Sig Heil at the inauguration and how you all just wanted to blame it on autism, but clearly he's putting out statement after statement after statement of how he is pro Smittler, and you still are not able to connect the dots that, oh, maybe if we take this context, it was not a autistic sim, which I've made several videos on how that isn't even possible. So if you want to see those, you can go back and watch my videos, but that's not the purpose of this video, so I'm not going to be getting into that. My whole point is stuff like this needs to be held accountable. Tweets like this should not just be sent out and then just never talked about again. Like, this is scary. This is pretty mind-boggling that the man in charge, and I say in charge intentionally, of our federal government putting out tweets that mass unalivings aren't done by the person in charge. They're done by the people physically doing it. It's kind of like to take Charles Manson, for example. Charles Manson didn't commit a single schmurder, but he was responsible for the 9 schmurders his cult committed. So that's why he was the one who faced the consequences for it, and so did the rest of the people that committed the schmurders. But even though he didn't raise a single hand, that's why he was guilty for it. So it's wild to say that Stalin, is not guilty for the schmurders that were committed under their reign. And I think the fact that Elon is tweeting this out so boldly really needs to be concerning. And I am just hoping there's something at some point that kind of clicks for all of you MAGA followers and goes, oh, this is not normal. Oh, this is concerning. Oh, maybe this person isn't the best person to have in office. But at some point, you guys have to start holding Trump and Elon accountable. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is I can already see the writing on the wall, and I hope as MAGA you can too. Elon is already setting it up for you guys to take the fall for any and all destruction that happens during Donald Trump's presidency. He's going to say, oh, well, look at all these millions of people that went along with us. Look at all these millions of people that supported us. It's not going to be him taking accountability. He's going to be putting the blame on you guys, and he's going to be putting the fault on you guys. And I just hope you guys see that, because at the end of the day, they will not have your back, and they will not be there to defend you. And everything that is negative and destructive that is going to come from this presidency, they will try to put on your shoulders and make you responsible for. And you don't have to believe me. That's fine. I know you guys think most of us liberals are just Looney Tunes, but so far we've been right about everything. So